Hey everybody, welcome back to Wikigood Sports. This is Power Play, and we're joined, as always, by Chris Uminski. Chris, how you doing?
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yes, so obviously today was a day of many retirements. Probably lots of fans all across the country are crying today. But, there's some good news too, right?
Yeah, for one player.
For one really good news for one player. So where do you want to start for this one?
So before we get to everybody leaving, let's talk about Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan
Yes.
MacKinnon signed a huge contract with the Avalanche.
Yeah, so I saw it was like $12.5 million, something like that. Highest paid player, is that correct?
Yes, so he with this deal, he's gonna be the highest paid player in the NHL.
Jeez.
And it looks like he got 8 years at about $101 million.
Okay, pretty
Which,
pretty good, pretty good. I would take that.
right, yeah, me too.
So yeah, what are your first reactions to this contract? Deserved, overpaid, underpaid? What are you thinking?
Nathan MacKinnon is one of the best players in the league. It's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely deserved. This has to be a case where it's like, give me what I want or I'll leave.
Mm-hmm.
And because, I mean, that's now he's the highest paid player in the league. And the NHL probably pays the worst out of the four major leagues. So, like,
Sure.
even looking at a number like 100.8 million dollars
Mm-hmm.
is a lot for an NHL team to be paying.
Right. Yeah, no,
And
I mean it's huge. Anytime you hear like $100 million contract, it's pretty wild. You're right. Out of the four, probably I would say baseball is probably the best. If you're like a top line baseball player, you just make crazy money and you play forever. But hockey, that being said, there are some players retiring who were around in the '90s, but we can get to that. But yeah, hey,
yeah,
good for him. Good for fans of the team, and we'll see. Do you think this will be who's the next guy up? I don't want to get too far ahead, but like that's kind of always the fun part, especially like in football with quarterback contracts where it's like, wow, that's cool. That guy got that much. How much is the next guy gonna make? Who do you
right.
think's the next person who's gonna make like a lot of money?
The next person, I mean, these two guys already make a lot of money, but it's going to be either Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby.
Mm,
Maybe Leon Draisaitl too. Leon Draisaitl is definitely up and coming. He was in the top five goal scorers last year, and I'd be very surprised if the Oilers eventually don't give him a lot of money.
right, right. All right. So from I guess players who presumably will be playing for a while to players who are hanging it up. Today was just the day, Chris.
Yep.
I don't know why, but everyone was retiring
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Happy retirement day, everybody. Everybody except for Joe Thornton.
Yeah, we were hoping if he was going to, he'd retire by the time we recorded, but as far as I know, he hasn't yet. But who has
Right.
retired?
So I guess we're gonna start with Keith Yandel. Keith Yandel has been playing with the Flyers for the majority of his career. He's from Boston. He's a Boston guy. And he also has the longest Ironman streak in NHL history.
Oh wow. Okay. So, I guess are you surprised that he's retiring, or was this kind of expected?
I am a little bit because I mean, like I said, he's had that Ironman streak,
Mm-hmm.
which the Flyers healthy scratched him, 4 games short of an 1,000 game Ironman streak,
It's messed
which
up.
which I don't think any hockey fan is going to forgive the
Mm-hmm.
Flyers for. So for all I know, maybe he's just like, screw this, I'm rage quitting. but but yeah, though he's been a fixture. He's been an awesome player. It's really sad to see him go.
Yeah. That's messed up that they did that. Reminds me of Eli Manning's streak of starts being broken by Geno Smith for no reason, and then they just put him back as the starter the next game because Geno Smith played poorly and maybe got hurt, and it was just like, why? Like,
Yeah, like it made no sense when they healthy scratched him. It made no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even like the Flyers. I hate the Flyers. But I was like,
Of course, yeah.
you gotta play this guy, man. He's good. And do you really want to be known as the guy who stopped that streak?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So who else retired today?
So getting to some bigger names, the other one is we talked a little bit about this last time, but PK Subban has officially announced that he is retiring.
Yes, so no surprise considering we literally did an episode on how he was probably going to retire, but I guess now that it's official, what can you say about Subban here?
I mean, like I said before, I've had a very love-hate relationship with him. When he was playing, I really didn't like him. I didn't like playing against him. I didn't like his style.
Right.
But off the ice, he's fantastic, and I love him. He's fantastic on ESPN, and I have a feeling he's going to find a permanent home there. ESPN could really use a guy like him to boost their hockey coverage.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Julian Edelman. I didn't like Julian Edelman when he played for the Patriots, but he's fun and funny now that he's retired and, a member of the media. So I can see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, Julian Edelman was my favorite Patriot.
Yeah. I mean, definitely if I was a Patriots fan, I would love him, but as a Dolphins fan, not as much.
Right. Oh yeah, like if Subban had been on the Bruins, I probably would have loved him. His brother was a goalie for the
his brother
Bruins.
was.
Yeah, but he's had a very good career. He definitely deserves a good retirement. I can't wait to see what he does. If he joins NHL Network, if he joins ESPN, he's definitely going to end up in the broadcasting booth or something like that.
Yeah. He'll still be around the game, which will be nice. That's what you like to see.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, and then probably the big one, not literally and figuratively.
This is the big one. I woke up this morning to the news that my guy Dano Char has agreed to a one-day contract with the Boston Bruins so that he can retire a Bruin.
Love that, obviously.
Yeah, I love that too. But I mean, for me, it's really bittersweet because I mean, Zdeno Chara has just been so incredibly important to the Bruins, to us fans, just to the game of hockey in general. And he's of course instrumental in our Stanley Cup back in 2011. He's been a fixture on the ice, very powerful enforcer. My favorite Chara moment is when I've said this before, is when he just beat the ever-loving shit out of Evander Kane.
Yes.
Which I was there for that game, which was awesome.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I think especially this, era of Bruins hockey, he's definitely the guy that you think of for him. I mean, he's just part of, like you said, the Stanley Cup, the when they made the Stanley Cup, the two other times. Yeah. He was on there. And it's just a lot of great memories for Boston fans. I know probably a lot of people were a bit sad. I know he wasn't on the team anymore, but it's still sad to see him go.
It's really sad. I'm happy he's retiring a Bruin. That's the way it should be. Unless you're that one idiot Islanders fan who wrote a comment that I saw today.
What did it say?
It's what it said is it's ridiculous that Dano Char is going to retire a Bruin. You should be retiring with the team that drafted you. It's like
what? That makes no sense.
The man was a captain for the Bruins. He spent most of his career with the Bruins. He was drafted by the Islanders and then went back for 1 year.
It's hey, John Elway, you should be retiring with the Colts. Even though you never played for them and you specifically said you'd play baseball if you got drafted by them and not traded. But they're the ones who drafted you and gave you your shot.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, that was just a very dumb thing, but I wouldn't expect anything less of an Islanders fan.
Fair enough. Oh man. All right. Anything else you want to touch on before we get on out of here today?
Yeah, I guess just with Chara, he's going to go down in Bruins history as being one of the top 3 defensemen that the team has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2, of course, being Ray Bourque and Bobby Orr.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I'm a little emotional.
Hey, it's all good.
And yeah, I hope he has a good retirement. I hope he stays involved with the game of hockey. I hope he maybe comes back to the Boston area and decides to retire here.
Hey, that'd be nice.
It would be nice. I bet he'd make a really good coach too. Give him a coaching job somewhere.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure another guy who's probably gonna stay involved at some level. But yeah, amazing career, champion. Our captain.
Right.
So
He's the guy.
definitely. All right, Chris. Where can they find you online?
You can find me being sad at Chris_Uminski on Twitter. Occasionally, I'll post something on TikTok. That's at Chris Uminski. And then you can join the movement. Just because we're losing good players doesn't mean that we can't get teams back. You can follow at Whalers Revival for all of my exploits trying to bring back the Hartford Whalers.
Yeah, if it happens and we're involved, we'll definitely hire Chara for sure.
Yes.
As a coach. So if you want that to happen, come on. Follow him on Whalers Revival. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheFakeBMar. That's BMARR. The channel is on Twitter at WickedGoodSport and at WG Everything. Instagram at Wicked Good Everything. Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Good Everything. And on TikTok, search Wicked Good Sports. Search Wicked Good Everything. Check out our blog, wickedgoodeverythingsports.com. And Chris, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
We'll see you all in the next one.